Time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Wasn't this song done originally in German?
Yeah, but I'm not playing German over the radio.
No, it's this song that was originally done in German, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jake and Ben, 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone. Time for the top 3 stories of the day. KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, impressive first game for Bear Bachmeier, 5 total touchdowns.
The Bear, 5 total touchdowns. Now, Portland State is not terrific. BYU wins the game 69-0. Unbelievable. But the Bear, when we had our college football roundtable last week, I can't remember. It was Alex, I think, who asked me about expectations for the Bear. And my expectations were really that he complete his first pass to somebody on his team. Because I do not, and I did not think it's really all that fair to throw a true freshman into, P4, D1 football, whatever label you want to put there, and really expect all that much. It's really not. And you know what he did? He kept it simple. He made the right decisions. He completed passes. He obviously made plays when they were available. He didn't try to do too much. Kalani talked about that before the game. And, man, and this is the advantage to starting with Portland State. There's no doubt. But that was a very successful debut for a freshman quarterback.
Sometimes the bar eats you.
The bar. I'll stick with the Bear, but the great Sam Elliott. He was really good. He was out there eating, no doubt. And there are definite reasons to be optimistic. All right, with that aside, we knew BYU had a really good team. The question was going to be, how would the bar eat? Or would the bar be eaten? And I thought the rest of the team showed exactly what they were last year. It was a really good team. I mean, LJ Martin is so good. The running game was so good. The defense was obviously smothering. It's what we expected from BYU. The storyline was always don't let the frosh sink you. How many games is the Frosh going to lose for you? And I bet you he still makes some mistakes that cost him games. Yeah, I don't see how it couldn't. But that was a really good start for him. And the rest of the team, just looked like what we thought.
I still wonder about the downfield passing ability and a couple nice throws, especially to tight end Carson Ryan. But, yeah, when it comes down to needing some throws down the field to win you a game, can he do that? And we will see. But dude, the defense is crazy. Isaiah Glasker was all over on the first couple series, and I don't know if it's just the cowboy collar or what, but yeah. He's phenomenal.
I don't think they need to complete a deep ball all year, maybe, honestly. Because if you run the ball for 470 yards.
Well, you're not going to run the ball for 470 yards against everybody.
If you run the ball for 470 yards, it doesn't matter if your quarterback can throw the forward pass. I say that.
That would be nice, right?
I say that kind of joking. I think the Bear will have to make plays at some point. But honestly, if the run game is just steamrolling teams, and yeah, they're not going to do that every game. I get it. Portland State, they scored 69 points and ran the ball for 470 yards. But if they could truly be, we might be looking at basically like a Utah team from, I don't know, when you want to say like the first year they started Tyler Huntley maybe, or something, like a recipe like that, like that, where they had Zach Moss and they had a running game that was just going to absolutely flatten teams, and maybe that's a bad comparison, but if they can run the ball effectively all season long, it's going to make the Bears' job so much easier, and honestly won't matter how many of those dynamic deep throws or whatever connect, but get the ball to your playmakers in space, and, if the Bear can do that, that might be enough, honestly. If the defense is smothering and the running game is awesome, just make a timely play here or there and don't screw it up. And I think he showed he was capable of that.
It was honestly sometimes even hard to make takeaways from BYU's defense because they were so much bigger, faster, stronger than Portland State. Like, it was really hard to actually break down what they were doing.
But they didn't do anything to disprove it.
But no, they were just flat out dominant. But Bear, I mean, 5 total touchdowns, like I said earlier, that's going to win you games.
In a half.
In a half of football, right.
In a half.
And the Superman diving touchdown was awesome. He took off from probably the 4-yard line and really just extended and reminded you how huge he is. He's a very big person.
Yes, he is. All right, what's next?
Number 2, Utah also getting the win. We saw a lot of offensive snaps from Smith, Snowden, and Lander Barton. We also saw kind of a 3-headed rushing attack with Devin Dampier, Wayshawn Parker, and Nakari Rogers.
I think all that is true. I think we will continue to see all that. I don't know if the reps for Smith, Snowden, and Lander Barton, for that matter, are going to be that high every game. And I more mean that high on offense every game. Utah really wanted to win this game against UCLA for a good reason. I mean, Coach Witt hasn't had any seasons as bad as last year. And he's talked about that feeling and being motivated not to leave his legacy on that kind of note. And this is going to be a really motivated, I think, Utah team. And I think they were motivated to make a statement against UCLA, a former conference opponent, not an FCS team. Always have to think about that for a second. A team that could, in theory, beat you. And I thought they were motivated to, or let me put it this way. I don't think they were hiding anything from the tape, right? I don't think they were going to have one of those games where you're not going to see some of the special things they have cooking up. You know what I mean? We were going to see those defensive players play offense. We were going to see that because they wanted to win that game.
Witt wanted you to see it.
He wanted you to see it. Yeah. This is what we're bringing to the table. Not last year. This is what Utah is this year.
It's like your dog going and getting a stick and bringing it back and being like, look at this really cool stick that I just found. That's Witt with Smith Snowden on offense.
And they did it on offense. I mean, I think the fact that it was a smooth operation on offense is, I think it's important. Ute fans aren't out there selling something that doesn't exist. For years, Ute fans would have to sell quarterback play and be like, yeah, but this happened and this happened. And it's like, well, you won by 3 against a whatever team. Ute fans aren't selling anything today. You know what I mean? They're saying, oh, yeah, Dampier played great. And it's like, well, yeah, you did. Ute fans are saying today, like, oh, man, if Dampier plays like this all season, look out because Utah could be really good. Yeah, that's absolutely true. So, all right, what's next?
Number 3, other takeaways from across college football. Is Arch Manning overrated? That game was awful, by the way.
Yeah, that game was bad. Ohio State's defense is really good. Can I ask you this? Like, why did I got caught? I didn't get caught up. I noticed the comparisons on the Snap Talk over the weekend with Shadour's situation with Arch's situation, right? Where like people who were critical of Shadour were somehow loving Arch. It was like the nepotism conversation. I guess I understood where it came from, but I don't know why people thought Arch was going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread to begin with. I don't know why he was automatically like, oh, number 1 pick right there, Arch Manning. Like, there is a thing to second generational players can sometimes have the advantage. You're brought up in the sport. You see how your parent or your uncle or whatever did it. There is a genetic component to it. I get it that, brothers are often successful or sons, and there are reasons for that. But it is not the whole story, and it's certainly not the whole story when it comes to quarterbacking. And let me tell you this. Do you think Steve Sarkisian, who I think is a pretty smart dude, man has his flaws, yelling at that usher was pretty hilarious. Was that last year? Or the security guy where he's just screaming at him?
I can't remember when that was, but that was hilarious.
But do you think that Sark, if he truly had the second coming of Peyton Manning on his team, you think he would sit him?
You're talking last year instead of Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
It's a little telling, isn't it?
Sark's still got to win games. He's not running a charity. He's got to win games or he's out on his backside.
They were in a very good position to win the Natty last year. They were in the playoff.
But do you think he was sitting in camp before last year and he's like, good heavens, look at this guy slinging all over the field. But you know what? We're gonna play Ewers because he's a year older and that's how it's gonna go. No, absolutely not. So why was there expectation around Arch to be the number one team and the number one pick and all this and this phenom at quarterback? I mean, maybe it turned out to be true, but why did we expect it before we saw it? I'll tell you, this is something I was wrong about. I doubted Shedeur was that great. I thought he came in with limited, obviously experience at a lower level, and that Deion was making his son into the quarterback. And I thought, I don't know how this is really going to go. And then he played well. I don't know if Shedeur was retire his number the day he decides to go to the NFL good, but he was obviously pretty good.
Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year.
There was some delivering to the hype. A lot of it. I don't know if he completely delivered on the hype. I don't know if that's the case, but at some point the rubber met the road, right? And what did, Deion was screaming at the doubters after they beat TCU, when it came to Shedeur, he was screaming at me. I doubted Shedeur was going to be that great, and he turned out to be really good. Why would I give Arch the benefit of the doubt? For those people, who are Shedeur fans who were complaining about that, I totally agree with them. Why would we give him the benefit of the doubt when we haven't seen anything? I was told Marcus Vick was going to be better than Michael. Guess what? That didn't turn out to be true. We all get caught up in the potential because of the sibling or the father or whatever, but it doesn't make it automatically true. It can make it an advantage in one way or another. I mean, the fact that Eli and Peyton grew up the son of a famous NFL quarterback probably put them in a really good spot, but it didn't make them automatically good. They still had to do the right things. They still had to develop as players.
The sort of ironic part about this is you bring up Eli and Peyton. Well, which one is Arch's dad?
Oh, Cooper.
And where did he go, right? As far as football-wise.
Yeah, I made jokes about this once, and be careful, because he had some sort of...
He did deal with a back injury, right?
No, he's got like a brain thing where he couldn't play. No, it's funny. You listen to the Mannings talk about Cooper. They're like, he was the best brother. He was a receiver. He was amazing, on and on and on. But yeah, because I used to make jokes about, like, what's wrong with Cooper? Like, what's wrong with this guy? Looking around, like, what's Thanksgiving like for this guy? He's probably an accountant or something.
Yeah, I think he actually is.
And then somebody like texted into the show or something at the time. We're like, he's got like a brain thing that he can't play. And it's like, oh, man, that makes me feel bad. But
the point holds.
Yeah. But if you're telling me that people who don't necessarily know what they're talking about get caught up in somebody's name, yeah, that happens a lot. Shedeur or Arch. It happens a lot. All right, stay tuned. We'll have more coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.